Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video to explain how I survived 36 rounds of radiation. To be honest, I was so nervous. My first appointment, I remember crying when they told me how many rounds I was going to have to do. The women I follow on Instagram would show some of the side effects they had from radiation, and my heart broke for them. And knowing that that was something I was going to experience, I was probably more scared than chemo, as crazy as that sounds, because it would just get, the picture that I saw, they were just red and blistery and couldn't move. And one person I reached out to had to be hospitalized because their infection got so bad. So I was just sick about it. The good news is that I didn't get that bad. And the worst it got was I had a little bit of a rash on my chest here, and it itched a little bit. But besides that, my skin did not burn and I didn't really feel any pain. But part of that maybe is because I don't have a lot of feeling across my scar, like in my chest. I didn't have a lot of feeling here either. So that might be a part of it. And of course, everyone's skin is different. So I don't have like completely fair skin. I have a little bit of color, just a little bit. So I don't know if that had a part to do with it as well. So I wanted to share. Again, I do this to help other women. If I just get like one person telling me like how much this has helped them, I'll continue to do these things, because sometimes I say like, is this even helpful? Will anyone benefit from it? But if I get a like or a comment, that lets me know like, yes, this helped me, and it makes me want to continue helping other women. So what I want to do is share with you the 4 products that I use to help my skin, and also just take you through a day of what that looked like for me, so you just have an idea of things that I did as well to help my skin stay okay. All right? Okay, so products that I used. First one is Aquaphor. So many of you have seen this. It can be used on babies. It's fragrance-free, no preservatives. So there's that. Next product I have is called Fruit of the Earth. It's 100% gel, aloe vera, very minimal ingredients. So this was given to me from my radiation oncologist. I went through maybe 1.5 bottles of this. Okay, number 3 is Mioderm. This was created by radiation oncologists. It's probably one of the better products that I've used. It's on Amazon. It's super expensive, but because I was so scared, I was willing to pay money for something that was going to help my skin. The radiation oncologist took a look at the ingredients. The only thing she was kind of like iffy about was there is alcohol in here, and alcohol can tend to dry out your skin. It did not do that. It put in parentheses, it's an emulsifier, so they must have known that radiation oncologists would probably question why there's alcohol. The one ingredient I wish I didn't have was fragrance. It's the last ingredient on there. But besides that, lots of things on here to help your skin. I went through about 1.5 bottles of this as well, because I did use it often. And I do believe when I read afterward, it said to start using that maybe a week or 2 in advance, which I didn't do, but I was still fine without it. Okay, the 4th thing I use, which I don't have here with me, is an aloe leaf. I ended up buying them at Fresh Thyme. I'm not sure if you have one in your area. It was super long, and I basically would cut that up, and I did 2 different things with it. So once I just chopped it up and took off all the green parts, so all you're left with was just the clear aloe, and I put that into a blender and just mixed it up. I put it in a glass container, an airtight container. I also added frankincense essential oil to that, just a few drops. That was just a recommendation from a friend. The other thing I did with the leaf was I would just cut it up into like squares, put that into a glass container, and just kept it in the fridge. 4 things, that's it. And I just want to take you through a day of how I use those ingredients throughout the day and how often. Okay, so first thing in the morning I would use the Mioderm. I would just rub it all over this area. And my appointment wasn't until 1 o'clock. So typically they say don't use any type of product a couple of hours before your radiation treatment. And doing it in the morning, radiation was at 1. I was totally fine. After I had radiation, I would go back to the dressing room, and that's when I would use this guy here. Just rubbed it all over, let it soak in just a few minutes, and then put my shirt on, and then I would go home. once I got home, I would do the aloe. So whether I, got some of the goopy, if it was in the blender, or I took a little square if I had chopped it up, I just rubbed it all over this area. Later that night, it would be time to shower. And after my shower, I would put on Aquaphor. And I hesitate saying it because it felt so gross. At first I was like, oh, I can do this. Doing it every night for 6 weeks, it just felt icky and uncomfortable. I did not look forward to it every day. Definitely wear an old shirt if that's something you decide to do. Here are just a few other tips that I did along the way that really helped my skin. One of the things I did was I stretched my arm all the time in the car, just because that radiation can make it tight in that area. And if you're not using this arm, or the arm that I guess you're getting treated on, it can really start to stiffen up. What I wish I would have continued to do is, after radiation, I wish I would have continued to stretch my arm, because I lost a lot of movement even after radiation. So it's actually like super tight just when I go like this. This is about as far as I can go without it starting to hurt. So do stretches. I would even pull the headrest. I'd pull my arm back just to keep like that movement all around this area. They also recommended to massage in that area, which I forgot about maybe like 2 or 3 weeks in. I didn't massage as much, but definitely do some stretching. Other thing was, when I took a shower, I would not let the water hit this area probably for more than 10 seconds. So I would get it wet just very quickly. I would wash it very quickly. I really tried not to rub. I would just kind of like pat that area a little bit. And when I got out of the shower, I would just let it, I would take the towel and just dab it dry. So I was really taking care of this area. Again, I didn't want the water hitting it for very long because of the heat and drying it out. I didn't scrub to irritate that skin. And I didn't, when I dried it, again, I just patted it just so that minimal like friction was going on in this area. And I hope that is something that helped too, again, because my skin did so well. So the other thing I did was I let my skin air out at least 2 to 3 hours a day. So when I mentioned that I came home, I put aloe on, I wouldn't put a shirt back on. Like, I just let my whole area air out. And again, it was probably 2 to 3 hours a day, and I think that helped as well. When I would walk, like if I were on the treadmill, I also wouldn't let the skin like touch right here and rub if I was like moving my arm. So I would look kind of silly, but I would probably do something like this, or at one point, I think I would just walk with my hand on my hip. Again, I didn't want any type of irritation to happen with my skin rubbing against each other. One of the last tip is to, when you do moisturize or use any product, again, make sure you are getting like this area, but also get your back. So I was all the way up here and I was all the way back here, and I could see the line from radiation because it can go through your entire body, exit out the back. So just make sure like both the front and back are being moisturized very well. Okay, so that's it. Again, a very quick video. I really hope this helps someone. I'll continue to make them if people continue to watch them. If people continue to comment or like them, I'll continue doing this. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or leave me a comment, or you can follow me on Instagram. All right, take care.